Hey, what is going on, guys? XpertFusion here, and today we are going to be actually doing a Star Wars Battlefront 2 video. Now, I know I am primarily a Walking Dead and Call of Duty channel, and I always will be, but to be honest, my channel is also just whatever the hell I want it to be. So if I want to do some Star Wars videos, I will. Star Wars is in its prime right now, because you know, the new movie came out, you have The Mandalorian, you have the Star Wars Battlefront 2 having a ton of great updates. So that's what my channel is. It's always going to be The Walking Dead and Call of Duty first, of course. But I do like to expand a little bit and do some stuff with other franchises that I really enjoy. So today we are going to be doing some stuff with Star Wars Battlefront 2, specifically talking about which skins should be added within the future. So we do know that they are planning on adding some new villain skins within 2020. They are doing a lot more updating with this game in 2020, which is great. So I just wanted to go through all the different characters within this game, all the heroes and villains, and talk about what skins should be added for each hero. Some of them already have a lot and they don't need any more, but some of them desperately need some skins, and there are some really good options for them. Now, I'm going to keep this accurate to the films or to the shows. I'm not going to go some crazy things, because honestly, that's what they've been doing. They've been doing skins that are accurate to the shows and the movies. They don't want to do stuff that's far and beyond what we've seen before. That's important to note. Like, they're not going to do a pink Darth Vader, for example, or a Christmas-themed Anakin with some, Christmas pajamas. They're not going to do stuff like that because they want to do stuff that's accurate to the game and that's realistic to what we've seen so far from the franchise. So there are a lot of options that we can have, a lot of skins that I'm surprised aren't even in the game yet, and they should be. We're going to go through every character, starting with Boba Fett. We're going to go in order of how they appear on the screen, basically. So Boba Fett, to me, is a difficult one because we don't see him with any other outfit throughout the entire franchise, really. So it's a difficult one to do. What I thought of, if they don't want to add Jango Fett, right? What's the harm in giving us a Jango Fett skin for Boba Fett? Now, because if they were to add Jango Fett, then obviously that wouldn't make sense. But if they're never planning on adding Jango Fett, mainly because I thought maybe they wouldn't add him because they thought he'd be too similar to Boba Fett, which, yeah, he would be, then why not just give us Jango Fett's armor on Boba Fett? You know what I mean? And you might be like, oh, that's not accurate because they're not the same person, and that would make no sense to make the different skin the different person. Well, you can just play it off as, okay, Boba Fett's using Jango Fett's old suit. That's about it. You can say he recovered the armor of his dad and used it himself, right? That's a pretty good explanation to me. So I don't really see how that would be an issue. I don't think it would be. I think it would work just fine in my opinion, and I honestly have no problem with them doing that. Or if they want to do some different type of Mandalorian armor, maybe. I know that wouldn't be realistic to what we've seen, but that's my only option for Boba Fett. Other than that, you don't really have many options. You could do battle damage, I guess, but that's the cheap way. I think battle damage only looks good for certain people, and it makes sense for certain people, but someone like Boba Fett, we never really saw him battle damage, so I don't know how much sense that would make. Next up is BOSSK. I absolutely have zero ideas for BOSSK. I could not find anything. I could not find any different outfit for BOSSK. I've never seen any different outfit. Therefore, BOSSK is just going to have to stay as good old BOSSK, I guess. You really can't do much with him. Next up is CHEWBACCA, and CHEWBACCA's skins right now kind of suck, I'm going to be honest. They're really boring to me. There's the one that's with just a bandage around his arm. That's really boring. And his Vandor glasses or goggles or whatever, they're different, but they're not worth it. I think a cool skin for CHEWBACCA would be C-3PO on his back. We've seen that within Empire Strikes Back, and that's a pretty iconic look for CHEWBACCA. And we don't really see C-3PO in this game at all, so it'd be a nice way to see C-3PO. Now, the only problem with this is when he does the roll, it would kind of change a little bit, I guess, because if you would do the roll, it wouldn't make sense to be able to do a roll with C-3PO on your back. And I think that's why they haven't included it, but they can make it work. They can just, when you have the skin on, instead of rolling, you do some sort of a side movement, you know what I mean? You don't do the roll. They can do that. That's possible for sure, but that's really all I have for CHEWBACCA. I don't really think they could really do much else with him. Next up, Darth Vader. I have one idea for Darth Vader, and that is, of course, battle damaged. And there's some pretty cool looking battle damaged Vader mods out there already. That's the thumbnail of this video, is one of the mods. I think they can make it look pretty cool. They don't have to do it so his face is completely exposed. They could do it so just maybe the eyepiece is exposed. That would be kind of interesting. I think that would work. And his mouth would still be intact with it, so you'd still hear him speaking like Vader. He wouldn't sound much different. Maybe he sounds a little like cracked up a little bit, but he's still as badass Vader as he always is. I think that would be a dope skin, gotta say. Next up, Emperor Palpatine. You can do a lot with Palpatine. Within the new movie, they had his like really awesome robes, but honestly, you could simply just give him his red robes from Revenge of the Sith. Just give him those red robes. Look how badass those look. That's a pretty obvious one. I've seen a lot of people say they wanted them to add Sheev, like a Sheev version of him before he became Emperor Palpatine, when he was just Chancellor Palpatine in the prequels. I don't think that would make much sense, considering he looks so different, like so drastically different. I don't think it would work properly. But what I have said before is I wouldn't have no problem with them adding a different character of Chancellor Palpatine, because yeah, he's the same person, but it almost feels like a complete other person. You can give him his lightsaber, which would be even cooler, but you might be wondering, oh, like, they're the same person. But look, Darth Vader and Anakin, they're the same person, but they're still two different characters. So why not do that same thing for Chancellor Palpatine and give us two different versions of him? I don't know. That's not that big of a deal. I just think his red robes are cool, and those are fine, in my opinion. Next up, Han Solo. Only got one Han Solo skin, in my opinion, that they should add, because they've already got so many for Han Solo. Just the old version of him from The Force Awakens. Pretty simple. But honestly, even if they don't add that, I wouldn't mind that much, because he's already got so many skins. I don't know why they just care so much about adding Han Solo skins. But his Force Awakens version would still be really nice, alongside some other old characters that we'll see later on. Next up, IDEN VERSO. Honestly, I got nothing. She's a boring character to me, so I don't care. I never play as her, to be honest, so that's just that. Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren, they actually have a decent amount of skins already, so I'm going to be honest, I don't think he needs any more. I think he's pretty good where he is right now. They could probably think of something, probably, but do we really need anything else for him? No, they got some cool looking skins already for him, and I'm honestly happy with it, you know what I mean? So Kylo Ren's good. Lando Calrissian. I have one idea for Lando, and one idea only, because he already has a decent amount of skins. He's got his younger version, he's got the general skin, he's got a decent amount, right? It's a simple one. Old Lando. This is going to be the same for Luke and Leia as well, and they're coming up next. Just give us old Lando, and I don't know why not, you know? It'd be cool to play as old Lando. You get, like, maybe a little bit more of a scrunchier voice, and he's just older. You know, he could still do his thing. He could still shoot people, right, when he's old. I don't see the problem with that. Next up, Leia. Like I said, old Leia. Pretty simple. I don't really think they need more than that. I have said I would love them to have Slave Leia, but the developers have already stated that they're not going to add that, which, I mean, I guess you want the game to be, like, more kid-friendly, and I don't... It's such an iconic looking skin, though. I mean, come on. You really can't add it just because some kids play it. If you really want to, you can cover up the ass part of it so you're not showing as much thigh and as you did in the movie. But is it really that big of a deal? I don't think it is. I would love Slave Leia in the game, but it's fine if they don't want to. But old Leia, I think, would be nice to have as well. And then, of course, we get Luke, who Luke can have a shitload of skins. Like, I'm talking, like, at least 4 more. I would love them, but I don't really think they will add this many. Starting off with Bespin. I don't know why they don't already have this. This is like a must, in my opinion. It feels off not having it, because I want to be able to duel Vader with the Bespin skin on, but you don't have it. The only blue lightsaber ones you have is the Yavin 4, the Farm Boy, and the Hoth one, and they don't have Bespin. I'm like, what do you mean they don't have Bespin? It's like such an iconic look for Luke, and they just don't have it, which means they should add it. Also, Pilot Luke would be cool as well. I mean, you can still give him the lightsaber, even though he's got the pilot skin on. It doesn't really matter. They could do that. Luke at Dagobah with Yoda. I mean, he wouldn't have the Yoda on his back, but he'd have, like, the cut sleeves and stuff. I think that would be kind of cool. Luke from, of course, The Last Jedi, him being older with the longer hair, you know. He'd have his green lightsaber in this aspect. I think that would be cool. And you could even do the later on Luke that we see at the end of the episode, where he's got shorter hair and he's got the blue lightsaber. That would be cool too. So many ideas for Luke there. I think they need to do them, even though Luke's already got a bunch of skins. I still think it'd be nice to get some more. Next up, Darth Maul. They got two things I think they can definitely add. One of them is his robot legs from the Clone Wars. That's pretty obvious. I don't know why they wouldn't do that. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna do this, to be honest. Like, they're talking about they're adding villain skins. I think this is gonna be one of them. Like, if we're gonna predict about which skins they're gonna add, honestly, I think this is 100% gonna be one of them. I think Emperor Palpatine's red robes will also be one of them. The other ones can kind of be a mixed bag, I guess, but Darth Maul's robot legs, I think it's coming. Darth Maul hooded as well would be really nice, because look how fucking badass he looks with the hood on. That would be cool. Then we move on to Rey. Honestly, they got enough for Rey, but the only thing I can think of right now is maybe this version from The Last Jedi when she has like a kind of like a cape looking thing, like a jacket cape. They don't have that skin, so it's the only thing I can think of, but we really don't need it. I think she's got a decent amount of skins already, so she's alright. Yoda, absolutely nothing for Yoda. He literally wears the same shit throughout the entire franchise. He sometimes puts the hood on, so they already have the hood, so I really don't have any other ideas for Yoda. I think he's just fine the way he is. Maybe Baby Yoda, maybe that. No, I'm kidding. That's fine how it is. Finn, same thing with Rey. He doesn't really wear that much different stuff compared to what he already has, so that's fine. Captain Phasma, though, battle damaged, easy. When she was hit once by Finn in The Last Jedi and her eye was exposed, that would be a cool looking skin. That would work perfectly. That's a good idea. General Grievous, his cape, I guess. I mean, it would look a little weird when he pulls out the lightsabers, but like, would it cut through the cape? But I think they can manage to make the cape not get in the way of the lightsabers. They're professional developers. I think they can handle that. So that would be really cool to have Grievous with his cape, in my personal opinion. Obi-Wan. A lot of stuff for Obi-Wan. First of all, Obi-Wan Episode 1, when he was Padawan of Qui-Gon Jinn. That's a pretty obvious one to me. That would be pretty badass as well. Obi-Wan Episode 2 would also be pretty cool. And Obi-Wan Episode 4, because the one they have now is Episode 3, and then they have the General Kenobi, which is from the Clone Wars, and then you have his Jedi robes, right? But Episode 1, 2, and 4 we don't have yet, so why not give us it? Yes, I know he's really old in Episode 4, so you might be like, oh, he can't do the cool things he can. It's a fucking video game, just get over it. Who cares if an old guy's force pushing people like a badass? I think that would be kind of cool, actually. And his Episode 1 and 2 is a necessary one. It would all be still the same blue lightsaber, though, of course, so that would be nice. Count Dooku, I think he's got a decent amount of skins already. I think he's fine. And last but not least, Anakin Skywalker. Of course, this is a pretty obvious one. Episode 2, Anakin Skywalker. You have, he can have his, I guess you can do the blue or the green lightsaber. It doesn't really matter. He had a blue lightsaber for a little bit of the film, and then he moved to a green one because he found it later on when he was in Geonosis. So you can really give him either one. I think giving him the green one would be cooler, just for the fact that it would be very different compared to what he already has, so it would be a little, way to change up his character a little bit. And yeah, I think that would work really, really well. I'm really excited for the future of this game. There's a lot of skins they can still add. There's also a lot of characters they can still add. I still want Mace Windu, Padme, goddamn anyone. There's so many things they can still add for this game, and I really hope they do in the future. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.